February 9th, we've got Saturn. Saturn enters Aries this week, which means that we have Saturn at the very last minutes of Pisces this week. And then we have Venus doing a thing. Venus will be at the latter degrees of Aquarius. So you can see here in the chart, she's already at 29. And let's see, we got the nodes and Jupiter on the screen. So we'll talk about those things and we'll tie it all together. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is G. Mercury retrograde is going to begin not this week. However, what does happen this week is it enters its shadow zone. That's important to remember. The shadow zone begins at 8 degrees of Pisces. So Mercury is only sitting at 5 right now. And it's conjunct Pallas Athena. These are talkers and communication. What's important about this is that Mercury entering Pisces is usually it weakens your mind. You want to sleep. You're feeling, your thoughts are really more based upon the feelings, upon what your intuitions are feeling or sensing. Pisces is the sponge of the zodiac, so we always got to be cautious with that energy in regards to what we're feeling may not necessarily be ours, and we have to kind of discriminate. We have to figure that out and determine, what is this from? You know, is this mine? Is it divine? Is it somebody else's stuff? Is it their crap? What is it? I'm the sponge, so I have to be careful with my thoughts and with what's coming through. Now, what I like about this for right now at this time is it's conjunct this beautiful Pallas Athena, another female, strong female, a great thinker, a great creative thinker. So that's beautiful. And it's conjunct the North Node. This is a strong strategizing energy here because she is known to be the strategist, the diamond-shaped head. She is a strategist. She thinks outside of the box, outside of the circle. She's talking with Mercury, the mind, the communication, the network, the sharing of information. This is writing. This is publications, but this is media, social media, but news, and definitely public figures and politician energy, heads of state type of energy. Yeah, institutional energy is Pisces. So there is some, we're behind the scenes. This is what Pisces is. You don't see it, right? There's a stage and then there's a curtain, and this is what's going on behind the curtain. You follow? So we never really know the full story, but we know Mercury's going to do a retrograde here. And it's really already conjunct the retrograde point because it's got Mercury and Pallas Athena and the North Node. But likely, whatever it is, we know we do not have all the information. There's pieces of it missing, or there is definitely planned deceptions. Like this is a play, a show, you know what I want to say, a make-believe story, right? That's a really good possibility because there's a strategizing going on. This is planned words for sure, planned media. This is all this is the stage and screen, and it's creative energy. It's really not a good place for politics, even though that's unfortunately how it works, right? There's a camera on me. I say one thing in front of the camera. And when it comes time to make the deals and to sign on something, to vote on something, it's a totally different thing. We have Jupiter now at 16. And this Jupiter is going to move. It's going to move to 15 degrees at the end of the week. All right. So this changes this because at 16, this is moon energy in the public, right? And that's emotions of the public. When it goes to 15, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? It goes to Mercury energy, communications, what we're talking, what we're learning, what we're negotiating, what we're consuming, and then turning around and sharing it back out. And we know where Mercury is. Mercury's in Pisces. So that brings up the next point here. Mercury will start to talk to Jupiter this week. Mercury and Jupiter in conversations. And because it can be beneficial, I don't want people to get their hopes up too high. But because Mercury has to do the retrograde, whatever we're hearing, which might feel like, oh, yes, thank you. That's great. I'll take that. That's wonderful. This looks like a step in the right direction. Just remember, it's a retrograde. It is talking to Jupiter, so this speaks to the judges stepping up, possibly rulings, whether they're federal judges, Supreme Court justices, whatever that is. There might be something where we feel like a burst of hope, okay, for humanity, which would be great. Now, we're going to get to the Saturn thing. Saturn goes into Aries energy. Saturn entering Aries. This happens on the 14th of February. Yeah, Valentine's Day. Gets very serious. Things get serious. Saturn was very dreamy at the 29 degrees. The seriousness of the long-term stuff didn't really exist. It was more like, oh, I don't know, just fantasy, make believe, more kind of Hollywood-ish. And when I say Hollywood, folks, please don't think I'm talking about literally actors and actresses in Hollywood or people who literally are creators, although there can be some of those, especially influencers. This is definitely more along the lines of just creative thinking and drama and putting on a show, right? And it's really best for that energy. It is great to be the painter, the singer, the musician. It's great for that. But if it's messed up with institutional energy, if it's working with institutional energy in politics and politicians, well, then how does it work? How does it come out? Not real good. Not real good, because it's not thinking about the long term. It's really thinking about the impressions that it can make upon somebody else. I'm putting on a show, a display. That's where it's kind of focused. So having Saturn get the hell out of dreamy, fantastical, delusional Pisces, going into Aries, maybe now this is like the rubber hitting the road and we can make some freaking progress and some real change. Now, with that said, you know that when Saturn gets to the 0 degrees in Aries, this is the world axis point, AXIS. And this is global energy, global in terms of countries around the world being very serious and arming up, which they have already begun doing. Saturn was here already a year ago, and this already began. And so you see additional stuff happening, maybe tweaking, changing. New partnerships have been solidified. New trade routes have been established now. So when you have new trade routes established, you have to protect those trade routes. And that's kind of what this energy looks and feels like to me, especially with Neptune close by. That's, yeah, on water. So that's Navy, that's military in the water. That's, moving the boats and rearranging things. And so these are countries, like I said, global restructuring with the military, whether that's military bases and what have you. It's definitely a triggering point this week. It really is. Like, we can see things changing. We're hearing about it in the news. Remember, Mercury trining Jupiter, I mentioned, right? So we're hearing about it. And hopefully it's more serious energy to the degree of we're not playing around anymore, because we see where the children are. We know who the children are. United States, right? We know who's playing games and who acts like they are an adult in the room when they're really just the 3-year-old or the 6-year-old that we have to pacify with a piece of candy. Saturn at the 29:59, these last few days this week, is the end of the old order. It is the end of the old order. And so we should expect a new order, a new restructuring. And it always happens where the money and where the power, and the money and the power has to include weapons. That's just the reality. Could even see folks who are in positions of major power possibly being impeached, even though the word impeach doesn't mean, what we think it means. There has to be a conviction. Like, there's a whole process to it. It's not like, oh, this means this person's gone on this day. No, there's a whole process to it, right? So keep your fingers crossed, folks. The North Node and the South Node. The nodes are at 9 degrees right now, and they move to 8 degrees. There's your North Node, 9 degrees and 8 minutes. So it's going to click. It's going to click to 8 degrees. Actually, this all happens on Sunday. I had it written down. I was staring right at it. I kept thinking that meant the sun. No, that's on Sunday. The nodes go to 8 degrees, and that's when Jupiter goes to 15 degrees. Now, remember what the 8 degrees is. The 8 degrees is change, folks. This is Pluto energy, and it's the nodes. So this is powerful. This is change on a very deep level. And it's going at the root, and it's saying we got to rip the root out, right? So change and transformation, wherever the 8 degrees is in your chart, nothing stays the same. It's always looking to transform. It to transform and ascend, not transform and get more disgusting or be less capable than before. It's to change and transform and to elevate, Phoenix rising energy, to elevate, to have learned from the past and the wounds and the trauma, because history and the trauma is a big part of this number. Healing is a big part of this number. So, for those of you, we're talking 8 degrees of Pisces, 8 degrees of Virgo energy. This is an opportunity. If you've got something near these, this is an opportunity to take the wounds from the past and for there to bring about some major healing. These are deep bonds, blood bonds. This is blood money, old money, even. This is stuff we drill for. This is stuff we dig for. We think of course, silver, gold, the real rare earth minerals. And I will tell you one thing, the current administration, regardless of whether you're blue or red, the current administration has a lot of this energy surrounding it. I mean, it's insane. The number 8 and all the Scorpio degrees, the Pluto degrees, like it's the abuse of power and taking it to the limit to wherever they can go and whatever they can get away with. And I am above the law. There's nobody above me. Yeah, it's big with this energy. So we'll see what that means for us. We'll see if does that mean there will be some judgments? Does that mean there will be some court cases? Does that mean the Supreme Court not only may say something but enforce something? Like, cuz that's kind of what we need here, enforcement of actual law. And that is all, as citizens, that is all we're asking for. Structure and order is changing. This is a process. You have to keep pointing out what's unhealthy, what is not normal, what is even weird, what is unacceptable. Keep it up, even if it's simply you commenting it on wherever you socialize electronically. Like if you can't be out, gathering up with a rally or a protest, pointing out. Don't stay silent. It is the silence. It is the silence that allows the insanity to continue.